Welcome to our channel where we bring you heartwarming stories of animal rescues and the incredible people who make them possible. From abandoned dogs to injured wildlife, we've got it all. Get ready to be inspired by the power of love, compassion, and kindness. Hawk was in desperate need of water, so these guys gave it to him. What a beautiful sight that is. Frog was captured by a bird by its head and just wouldn't let go. Poor bird certainly would have been a goner if it wasn't for this kind fella who got the frog out of the bird's head. This dog fell into Lake Michigan, but the police officer quickly rushed to the scene and saved the dog. This fox was really hungry, so it approached these fishermen hoping for some fish, and of course, it got some. The juicer baby deer fell into a cold lake in Northern California. But luckily some people on a boat were around and they helped the poor baby get out of the water. An adorable baby owl had fallen from its hollow. Thankfully, this couple were kind enough to get it back up. With the help of a picnic table and a long tree branch, they managed to bring the cute little owl back home. These workers had to use a machine in order to help a bear that was stuck under a concrete pit. The firefighters had to use a helicopter to save a horse. What an amazing rescue mission! And this is how a small kid helps out a thirsty dog. This squirrel came by a man's house and he offered it a snack. The squirrel was a little hesitant at first, and then it happily accepted the snack right out of the man's hand. Gito, a Costa Rican fisherman, found an injured crocodile 20 years ago. He nursed the croc back to health and the two have been best friends ever since. A sheep named Victoria lived for years in the Australian bush with 57 pounds of wool covering her body. A team of rescuers finally got a hold of her and brought her to the sanctuary where they sheared her, thus allowing her to have a normal life. A dog in Thailand got stuck in molten rubber, unable to move with only his mouth poking out for air. Luckily for him, some people noticed him and called the emergency services, who commandeered an excavator to dig the pooch out of the rubber. This dog right here got stuck in some barbed wire. He then tried to rescue himself, but he only made things worse. Luckily, some people found him and carefully cut the wire. How devastating is this? The dog got stuck between a fence and a wall and was crying for help. Thankfully, some people heard his helpless cries and carefully helped him get out of a tough situation. I don't know what happened to this cat, but it fell unconscious and would have gotten into cat heaven if it wasn't for the kind rescuer who performed a successful reanimation. Cats, even more than dogs, often find themselves in the most unusual of circumstances. Take a look at this cat, how it ended up there. No one knows, but the important thing is that someone noticed the poor animal and rescued it with the help of a rope. It's not just cats and dogs who get stuck in unusual places. This bear somehow ended up on the utility pole. I don't know what this man did. Whatever it was, allowed the bear to successfully climb down the pole. When this goat got stuck in a wheel, people didn't waste a second in trying to help the animal, which they eventually did after carefully removing the wheel. One look at this man giving water to a squirrel directly from the bottle is enough to warm your heart. You could just see the gratitude in the animal's eyes. The cat desperately needed a helping hand to get out of a tough situation, and one man immediately answered its call. With the help of a rope, the cat was safe in no time. At first, it seemed that this deer's antlers got stuck in a tree, but once the camera zoomed in, you realize the poor thing is stuck in some old chicken wire fence. Luckily for the deer, the Good Samaritan cut the fence and set it free. A sea turtle got stuck on the beach, and it was just laying there on its back, and it would have stayed that way for a really long time. If it wasn't for this kind man who helped turn it around with the help of his friend. Now this giraffe ended up with a tire around its neck, no one knows, but the important thing is that this group of people managed to remove the tire and save the animal. These people were enjoying a sunny day on their boat when they noticed a bear swimming beside them with a plastic jar stuck on its head. They immediately jumped to the rescue and saved the animal in no time. We saved our little bear. A few good men spotted a stray dog who had fallen into a canal and couldn't get out, so what did they do? Well, they joined their forces, of course, and grabbed each other's hands. After a while, the dog was back to safety. This elephant named Pretty Boy approached the doctors as if to ask for help. The experienced doctors noticed the hole in its forehead, so they tranquilized the animal, and the X-ray confirmed it was a bullet in Pretty Boy's skull. Doctors then successfully removed the bullet. These two foxes were running in circles hoping to somehow find the way out of this abandoned pool. Luckily, one man noticed them jump inside the pool, got one out. The other one was a little more hesitant. This goose named Victoria lost its beak and the poor thing couldn't even eat. But thankfully, 45 days later, she was able to get the new one, and it's all thanks to the 3D printed prosthetic designed by some Brazilian researchers. This poor baby elephant got hit by a truck and couldn't get up as a result. It took about 20 people in order to even try and move the poor thing. They eventually did after a lot of struggle. How many of you would be brave enough to help a shark with your bare hands? Well, these two men didn't quit till they managed to return the blue shark to the water after it got stranded at the beach in New Zealand. A dog got hit by a car in India, and as a result, was left out in the middle of the road with his legs strangely stretched out in front of him. Turns out he had suffered nerve damage, but the rescue team gave their best to help the poor animal get back on its feet. A raccoon tried to break into the attic through the roof, but instead got stuck in a hole with its hind legs poking out. Thankfully, a man noticed it and helped the raccoon get out of a tough situation. Now, this guy isn't jumping in the water with his clothes on just for the fun of it. He's on a very important mission, saving a cat from a possible drowning. After a bit of swimming, he finally got to the cat, picked it up and brought it back to safety like the true hero he is. A giraffe got caught in a wired fence and was just laying on the ground motionless. One guy noticed the poor thing, cut the fence, which was supposed to free the animal. But the giraffe still wouldn't move, then the guy and his friend hoped it would stick, which did the trick. This adorable little koala got thirsty, so it came by the pool hoping to get some water. A woman noticed and decided to help. The result, the incredible sight of the koala drinking water out of the woman's palm. A huge orca got stranded on a beach in Argentina. So it took the whole group of people working together in order to push the orca back to where it belongs. And finally, they made it. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey of animal rescue. We hope our stories have touched your heart and inspired you to make a difference in the lives of animals in need. Remember, every little bit counts, and together, we can make this world a better place for our furry friends. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest rescue stories. Until next time, keep spreading love